Hi, this is Susan Eisenberg, and you may recognize my voice from Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, where I voiced Wonder Woman. And you're watching In Conversation with Amber, the fangirl.
Hi guys, Amber here. Welcome back to In Conversation with ATF. My guest today is a voice actress and an actress. She's best known for being the voice of Diana Prince, Wonder Woman in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. She was the voice of Sorceress of Castle Greyskull in Masters of the Universe Revelation, Gearshift in the Skylanders franchise, Taryn and Ashlyn for the Jack and Daxter franchise. If I'm not mistaken, they're both from the same franchise, if I believe. Mm-hmm. I thought so. My guest has also had guest spots on shows like Life with Louie, Louie Anderson, Extreme Ghostbusters, Jackie Chan Adventures, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and more. My guest is the lovely Susan Eisenberg. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. How are you today,
Susan? I'm well. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Oh my gosh, I have been looking forward to this chat all week. Now,
you are the most persistent person I have ever come across. I have to say, because you you've reached out to me in so many different ways, and you've stayed so consistent about it. That the last time you reached out, it was like, oh gosh, yes, of course, let's do this. Because the last time you reached out, it was before the holidays, and I'd just done a bunch of interviews, and you want to keep it fresh for the audience. So yeah. I said after the holidays, and then boom, right after the holidays, you were in touch. So thank you for being so persistent.
You're welcome. Of course, my biggest hyperfixation at the moment has to be the DC animated universe. So obviously, I'm just going to have a quick rundown of what's happened. So I've interviewed some of your Justice League friends. I've interviewed Phil Lamar, Carl Lumbly. I'm meeting Michael Rosenbaum in May in this year at a convention. I met Kevin Conroy before he passed away, and that's how I started with the whole Batman phase, DC animated Justice League, everything like that. And I've had the great pleasure of speaking with Andrea Romano, who actually owns the same pair of cat headphones as me. She got a pair because she loved mine so much.
That's adorable. They are adorable, I have to tell you.
Thank you.
I'm tempted to get a pair myself. Carl Lumbly, boy, I mean, that's impressive, because Carl doesn't do a lot of press, and
really?
He doesn't do a lot of interviews. No, I mean, he doesn't do a lot of Comic-Cons. He
did say he wasn't a Comic-Con person.
Yeah, I mean, some people will, some people show up for anything. Carl's a toughie in terms of that. So well done you that you got him for an interview.
Thank you. It was simply just a thing of reaching out, and if they've turned it down, that's fine. I simply move on and just sing to the next person. But I noticed, I was like, oh, cool. And then I realized, oh yeah, he doesn't do a lot of interviews. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So we did 2 parts of that. So I'm speaking to him again later this year when a few more of his projects have come out. Okay. And I'm hoping to get some more folk on my podcast. Wilfred Dell's agreed, but I'm having a hard time getting a hold of him. I'd love to have people like George and Maria and maybe Michael on at some point. So that will be quite fun.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So of course, I want to start out by asking the most important question. Now, I know this hit you hard, and honestly, it made me well up when you said in your tweet about him. Please know to all Kevin's fans, he saw you and he loved you too. That got me. What was it like to work with Kevin Conroy, Susan?
Well, he's the only Batman I ever had, which is what I wrote in the post. I mean, he was my only one. And he was so gracious early on when I first booked the job back in 2000. He had already done the Batman animated series. So he was he was already just well known within that community. And I wasn't, obviously. And he took me out to dinner, and it was just the most cordial, gracious thing he could have done. And I loved him. I mean, he was just so special and so talented. And he loved the fans. And I thought it was so important when he died to let people know, even though I think they already did know. I just needed to say it because that's what he'd want people to know, that it mattered, that he saw you, that he would wait until every person in his line got to say hello and got to have an interaction with him. That's who he was. And that's who I worked with. That's who I was lucky enough to work with all those years. So it was shocking when he passed away, devastating to his fans, the community, to his friends, his family. You know, it's still really shocking to me. I'll see a picture and I still have to remind myself that he's gone because it doesn't feel real.
Yeah, like I've seen people say the late Kevin Conroy. It doesn't feel right. That phrase really doesn't.
Right.
And I know because you've done a lot of Comic Cons with him and everything like that. Unfortunately, we didn't have a Justice League reunion over here. Like you guys would come over like separately or something. I know Kevin. He did MCM London in 2018, then he did Telford Comic Con last April, which is where I met him at. I only met him during that photo op. Unfortunately, when I went to his table at the end of the day, because he probably had the longest queue there, and David bloody Tennant was there as well. Kevin Conroy's queue was longer than his. And so I was like, okay, I don't want to really like wait and then like miss everything else because I bought the day ticket. And then I came back and I saw the queue was completely empty. I was like, okay. And he wasn't there. So I asked Will where he was and he said, oh, he finished he finished 5 minutes ago. Mm-hmm. He's already gone. I'm like, I was devastated. And at the time I wasn't that upset because I thought, okay, I'll see him again when he comes over to the UK or if I get him on my podcast. But alas, it just wasn't meant to be.
He was always going to the UK. I mean, unfortunately, I think all of us, you know, the international cons are such a kick because you get to go to a different country, you get to meet people you would not normally meet. And so I think any one of us would be giddy to receive an invitation to anywhere in London, Ireland, Scotland, England, England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales. I mean, I think any of us would love it. He so enjoyed going to those cons, and in Ireland as well. I mean, he would do Dublin Con all the time. You know, he was Irish, and you know those were his roots, and so it is. We haven't done a lot together, and unfortunately now we can't. So if Maria and George and I and Phil, we tend to do a lot of things together. A lot of Comic Cons together, and Kevin was part of that as well. So yeah, it's more than heartbreaking that we won't be able to do that. Or, you know, I've been a big proponent of the Justice League reunion, JL reunion, and the idea that that can't happen in that way, or that Wonder Bat can't be continued. It just it breaks my heart, frankly.
It makes me like feel sick, and it does make me feel like, because I could feel the tears coming to my eyes right now just talking about him, because it doesn't feel right talking about him in the past tense. And you know, finding out the news as soon as I'd just gotten home from going out, and I just looked at my phone and I stared in shock because I already knew he was sick, but I didn't realize it was cancer. I mean, Andrea Romano was like to me, oh yeah, he's been sick but he's doing fine. And then obviously you did Terrificon with him and Phil as well, and then Tim Daly at his first con appearance, which was Kevin's last con appearance. So what was it like to like see Kevin there, and then like, you know, you didn't even realize he was sick? If you don't mind talking about this, of course we can skip over this question if you wish. I don't mind.
Well, I knew he was sick. I knew he was sick because he knew he was sick. He looked sick. I was surprised, frankly, that he was there, because I just thought this must be taking a gargantuan effort to be here. That's why I wanted the fans to know how much they mattered. You know, he always showed up, always. And but I would see him during the breaks and I knew he was ill. I didn't know what was wrong, and he didn't know at that time what was wrong. He was trying to figure it out. But there was a moment in time where things were figured out and things seemed better, and then he took a turn. So it was all very quick, frankly, and shocking.
It just
Shocking.
saddens me because he was so young as well. Like
Yes,
he was only bloody 66. Like I've never cried in any of my podcast interviews, but I can feel like myself well up. It's just a natural human emotion, but I don't want to keep it. I don't want to keep this sad. No, I don't want to just like, you know, make me crying like the main focus of it. So deep breath. Okay, we're okay. Okay, there we go. So to take our mind off the thing, so I'd like to go back and talk about Justice League, if that's okay. So working on the show back in the day, so what was it pretty much like for you? I mean, I think there was another woman who was in the running to be the voice of Wonder Woman, and I can't remember who it was. Do you know who it was?
No, I mean, I think there were a lot of women in the running.
Oh, yeah.
Every person who came on as a guest star or, you know, a co-star, everyone was like, oh, I read for her. So I know, I mean, Bruce has mentioned other people, but I don't want to say it because I just, you know, it just, people can watch Bruce's interview about that, but a lot of people, you know, auditioned for that. And I think I just got exceedingly lucky. And got the job, you know. It's why I'm here today with you. I mean, if I hadn't gotten that job, my career would have been very different.
Yeah, sure. I agree. So Justice League was your first ever voiceover work?
No. I had done a lot of voiceover.
Sorry, I did mention.
It's okay, but it was my first series regular. I had done Extreme Ghostbusters. I had done
Louie. Sorry.
It's okay. And I had done a bunch of commercials and other things, but nothing where I was a series lead and nothing that was that high profile with the people I was working with. So I hadn't done anything like that before. But I had done animation and commercial voiceover before.
That's so cool. And then like you've done Masters of the Universe recently as well, which is like what's it like to also so was Sorceress, was she a one-off character or was she a series regular on?
She wasn't a regular, but she was recurring.
Right, okay, yeah.
You know, that was just a gift from the gods. I mean, I just met Kevin at a Comic-Con and went up and introduced myself to him, and he's like, hello, I'm a huge Justice League fan. I know who you are. And, you know, we had a nice chat, and, you know, months later, he was casting for Masters of the Universe and the Sorceress. So that I got lucky, just lucky. And, you know, he was a big Wonder Woman fan in that show, and he very much wanted me to sound like her, with obvious variations, but the core of the Sorceress, he wanted to have Wonder Woman's strength. I was going to do it very like ethereal, very, you know, higher pitched, and I had watched other sorcerers, and they didn't sound like Wonder Woman. And when I went into to work, he's like, yeah, no, I don't want it. I want it to sound like Wonder Woman. And so I was like, okay, let me just throw out everything I brought in, and we'll do what you want since you're the boss. So I just you know, tried to give him what he wanted, which is my job.
Yeah, and you did a really good job, I say.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, well, I think it just helped that he was a Justice League fan. I'll tell you that. I think that's what put the spring in his step to cast you. Definitely.
Well,
for Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. No, so that's another thing where you just get lucky sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, I thought like he just cast you. So wait, you auditioned, or did he just straight up cast you?
I did audition, but I think without having met him at the Comic-Con, I don't think I would have gotten the job. You know, I think I just would have been another audition. Whereas I just met him and we talked briefly. And I think so much of this business is about your relationships and who you know, and cultivating those relationships. So the fact that I introduced myself to him, that we had a little chat, I think that went a really long way in me getting the job. But I don't know. You'll have to interview him and ask him.
Perhaps, maybe future guest, maybe, I don't know. Hopefully, I'll definitely try and reach out to him for sure. Susan, right? Okay.
Yes.
How did you get started in your voiceover career? I mean, were you originally did you want to be a voice actress from the start? How did you get started in showbiz?
Well, I used to do radio commercials for my dad's business when I was really young, like in high school. So I knew that the voice as an instrument could do things, like you could record commercials. So I knew that existed. But then when I studied acting in college. I was in plays in high school. I studied acting after college. And when I got to Los Angeles, I was able to work for a director who was so kind, and Lamont Johnson, and he put me in the movie he was directing. And I realized very early on that, you know how you do things in life and they feel comfortable right off the bat? And likewise, you do things in life where you're like, I don't want to do this. Working in front of a camera never felt comfortable. Some people can forget the camera's there and just act and it's effortless. I was not one of those people. Now, maybe I would have gotten better had I stayed with it. But pretty soon after I did that job for Lamont, I realized, you know what? I want to do acting, but I don't want to do it in front of a camera. Now, being in front of a microphone feels very natural to me, and it feels very comfortable to me. Once the camera's on, it's a whole different story. And so I think I chose right. And like I said, if I had fallen in love with it, I would have stayed with it. But it wasn't a love affair. It was like, okay, I'm so glad I had this experience. I think I'm going to pivot and do something and pursue the voiceover. So I went and took classes to learn how to do that, to be in front of a microphone, the basics. And I've taken a lot of classes over the years. I don't think you ever stop taking classes.
Oh no.
And you get tune-ups, and things change. So you want to find out, okay, how do I do more of this? And so you take classes with that. But that's how I started. And then I got an agent. I started auditioning. I said yes to everything that would put me in front of a microphone, whether it paid or didn't pay. I got into the union through Lamont because I did a movie with him. So he got me into the union, which was one of the greatest gifts that he could have given me. And the rest is just trying to get work. You just are always trying to get work to this day. So, it's a long ride, but that's the ride. You have to be willing to hustle always,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as someone who's acted on camera very recently, it felt very intimidating when you're trying to move your lines and there's a big camera just staring you in the face. It's just very, it's just because I'm autistic, it just makes me feel so uncomfortable and stuff like that. That's why I prefer voiceover and stuff, because it's easier to sort of get jobs from there, and then your only tool is your voice. I did a coin-operated ride just before the pandemic. I recently did a theme park ride in California, which is quite fun. And I got some more projects on the way, which I can't reveal yet. But honestly, I'm having fun. I'm really having fun.
Great. That's fantastic.
Thank you, Susan. Have you ever been to England before, may I ask?
Oh, yes. Yes. I've been many times, but not for a Comic-Con. But my sister, at one point, her job transferred her there for a couple of years. So she was in Hampstead Heath. So I went to visit her and stayed for quite a while. And I've been several times, and I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. Yeah, because it'd be cool to get you at Telford Comic Con, because that's where I met Kevin, and that's where Michael's going. So, to get a few Justice League cast members would be quite cool. Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, like I said before, you get an invitation like that. It's a pretty quick yes. Sometimes you have to wonder, okay, well, I was there. Do I want to go here? And then I have to get that. I think with international, I've done New Zealand twice. I mean, I think with international, you pretty much say yes all the time because it's such a brilliant opportunity to travel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And you know, it gives you a chance to like come together in a new place and like, you know, just like mingle with people. And like, I know all Americans just compliment on our accents. They're like, oh yeah, American accents are on this level, but British accents are all up and down like that, because it's obviously like different regional stuff. So that you got Scousers, you got up north, you got London, you got Birmingham, you got Welsh accents. So yeah, it's all different dialects and stuff like that.
For sure. And you know that, I mean, and if you can do those different dialects, hats off, because you know from video games and things like that, you're being asked to do that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you can pull that off and do that well, it's going to be very helpful for your voiceover career.
Yeah, definitely. Because I've used a few dialects for the previous projects I've done, so they have been very beneficial.
Baby.
Get the headphones out. Here we go. Hang on. Let me just hold on. Give me a minute. Let me try. We go straight to speaker. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
There we go. That's perfect. So this, I knew you posted a lot about your shelter, the animal shelter and stuff, and you posted about a lot of dogs. So I thought it'd be time for you to meet my dog, Benji.
Oh, that's my father's name, Benji. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful boy.
Benji.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. I can see him. What a doll.
So cute. I love him.
Oh, he's adorable. Is he your best bud?
Always and forever will be.
Yep.
Yeah. So to round this off, I'm obviously going to ask you the most important question of them all, and that is, what is your favorite color?
What is my favorite what?
Color.
Color?
Yep.
I love color, so I don't have a favorite. I have favorites. You know, I love greens and oranges and yellows. And all combinations. I love certain blues, like aquas. I love color. Love it.
Me too. The yellow's my favorite.
Yellow's up there.
Always keen to a bit of yellow. Yeah, always has been and will be my favorite. Yeah, and I love blue, and yeah, I like all colors as well, because I'm thinking like pink for partial, and then purple, yeah, and red, yeah. So it does, you know, it kind of like spirals. It snowballs.
Hey, they're all good. They're all good.
I like the whole rainbow.
Right?
Yeah, of course. There is no favorite. There are only favorites.
There you go.
Susan, I know this has been short and you've got to run now, but well, not literally run, but you know, leave the virtual room. But okay. So we're definitely gonna have to do a part 2 in the future, because we're definitely not done talking. There are more questions to be asked and answers to be said. Oh yes. Where can we find you on social media? Do you have a website? Do you have Twitter? I want to keep in touch with you. Come on.
You know, that's such a loaded question these days, because I am on Twitter and that's been my go-to, but things are changing so drastically there. So it's I'm not sure how much longer I'll be there, because I'm not really crazy about the changes that are going on there, but I am there. And it's Susan Eisenberg 1 there. And then I do have a website, susaneisenbergvoice.com. And I'm on Instagram, and I'm on all these others, you know, because I think everyone's trying out different places right now.
Yeah.
So I'm on a bunch, but Twitter is probably the one I'm on the most.
Sweet. Well, I'll definitely link those in the description. I will definitely keep in touch. I'll obviously I'll send you regular Benji updates. I'll tell you that now, because
please, thank you. Well, that's good. Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. Yeah, for those of you at home who don't know, I didn't get it on a film. Well, I did get it on film, but you know, it's like not gonna be thingy in this video. But Susan saw little Benji. Susan, you may know I have a little Shih Tzu. His name's Benji, and Susan absolutely loves dogs. And there was one. What was it? There was a dog that you said. What was it called? It's something to do with Batman, or was it called Kevin? I can't remember. What was it? It was a dog that was you put on your story. You put like a was it? I think it might have been, the dog might have been called Batman or Ace, maybe. I can't remember.
No, I do. You know, I have Oliver, which people think is named after Green Arrow, and he's not. But no, I don't know. I don't know the Batman connection. I think for you, everything comes back to Batman.
Oh, yeah, I can tell you that now. Definitely, for sure. And we will be back. I tell you that, yep, gotta spin it on that. And we will be back for part 2 in the future. So to you at home, thank you so much for watching this episode of In Conversation with ATF with lovely Susan Eisenberg. And then Susan's dog telling you to go check out Susan on YouTube. What do you have? You sorry, I'm getting confused for myself. I nearly said YouTube. Go check her out on Twitter, Instagram, her website, and everything like that. And with that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your Justice League friends, and we'll be back in the future for part 2. So for now, I'm just gonna say, stay safe, stay happy. Thank you for watching. Bye for now, and cut.